Welcome to Doing Makeup but for Hooded Eyes. I'm Peachy. In this video, we are covering eyeshadow basics. So you can use the techniques that I use in this video with pretty much any colors that you want, but I only used one palette and two brushes in this entire video. Everything that I use in this video will be linked in the description below, so let's get into it. For eyeshadow basics, I'm going to stick with neutrals. In the future, I would love to do an eyeshadow basics tutorial with vibrant colors, but for the sake of the first video, I'm going to stick with neutrals. I am using the Morphe 350 Supernatural Glow palette. This palette has been around for ages. I'm pretty sure you can still easily get it. Another one of my favorite neutral palettes is the ColourPop That's Taupe palette. You could do something similar, but use whatever you have. I'm also going to only be using two brushes in this look. I'm using one fluffy brush. The fluffy brush that I am using is the Morphe M514 brush, and the other brush that I'm using is a rounder, more densely packed brush than a fluffy brush. That's best in my opinion for putting colors down, and I'm using the e.l.f. blending eye brush. Just to keep it simple, that's all I'm using, but you will need to clean your brushes in between. If you want to use multiple brushes, you can do that instead, but I find this a lot easier. I'm going to be using a shadow swap pan. I get mine from Ulta. It's just this little sponge thing that comes in a tin. You rub your brushes in it and it cleans them off completely, so you can move on to the next color or blend or whatever you need to do. Now, I don't care who you are, if you want your eyeshadows to be more vibrant and stay a lot longer, you need an eyeshadow base. If you don't have one, concealer usually works just fine. If you have oily eyelids, you could do concealer, put a translucent powder over that, and then put your shadows in. That might work for you. I have dry skin. I don't struggle with oily lids, so I'll just be going in with a primer. P. Louise is my favorite eyeshadow primer of all time, but I recently got the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and I kind of love it. I was like just an avid user of P. Louise, and I would not use anything else, but this actually works super well for me, and it might be worth a shot for you too. So try one of those, but if you don't have them, concealer works just fine. But you do need to put something, and you don't want anything else on your lid. You don't want foundation or, anything else besides the base that you're using. First, what I'm going to do is I just have these little reusable cotton pads, and I put some rose water on there just to kind of cleanse my skin a bit. Now, since I have dry skin, I use the rose water and then I moisturize it a little bit with my regular lightweight moisturizer. You don't have to do this, but this is just what works for me because my skin is so dry. And you want to put this primer literally everywhere. I even bring it out to my temple over here if I'm going to smoke out my shadow to that point, which I most likely am. And then I also get all the way up into close to my nose and then all the way up on my brow bone. I think that there's no real wrong way to do eyeshadow. Some people like to start with darker colors and blend them that way. Some people go light, medium, dark. Some people will do medium, blend it out with the light, and then put darker. There's a couple different ways you can do it. I think the most user-friendly way is to start with a transition shade first. So I'm going to go in with a medium brownish color, not super dark. I'm going to use that blending eye brush, the one that's round and more dense. I'm going to go in with this shadow right here first. Completely saturate the tip of your brush and then tap off the excess. Normal eyeshadow tutorials, people are like, oh, just put it on your crease. Well, if you have hooded eyes and we do that, it completely disappears. So the trick is to kind of create your own crease, which means going above where someone's crease would naturally be. So if we didn't have this hood right here, it would be probably like about here. You just need to go above that to where it's visible, and you're still putting shadow, where you can't see it. So I'm going to apply this shadow in the middle here above my crease, and then I'm going to kind of avoid the inner part here because I want that to stay light so we can add a shimmer. But I'm going to put that middle color right here, kind of go in like a C shape like this. I will start on the lid though, just because we put that primer on and I don't want it to crease. So you're just going to completely saturate the lid and in where that hood fold is. Alright, see, I haven't come up far enough yet, so now I'm going to take some more color. Just dip into it as many times as you need and just slowly start bringing that up. And when you're bringing the color above to where you need it to be visible, what I like to do is just pack the color in and switch between resting my eyes and doing this. just to make sure it's where I want that shape to be. Now I'm not going to bring this entirely up to the brow bone because I am going to blend it. Since I am doing puppy liner, I'm just packing a little bit of that color down out here. Now with a fluffy brush with no color on it, all you're gonna do is go on this edge right here and blend it out. A lot of people like to do windshield wiper motions, which is fine, but since I'm keeping this inner portion untouched, what I'm gonna do is set my brush down and flick it out and then do this repeatedly instead of going back and forth, because if you go back and forth, it's going to eventually get that color over here, which is what I don't want. Another thing, when you're blending shadows, there's a couple different ways that you can hold your brush. If you hold your brush all the way at the top here, you're going to get a lot more pressure and a lot more control. Since I'm kind of wisping out the eyeshadow, I'm going for like more of a medium pressure and medium control. So I'm putting my fingers in the middle of the brush. When you're getting to the outer edges, you can hold your brush on the very tip of it and you'll get the least amount of control and the least amount of pressure. I'm going to clean my brush off in the shadow swap pan. I'm going back to that densely packed brush. Now I'm going to go in with this darker shade right here. Saturate the end of the brush, tap off the excess. I'm going to put this darker shade on my outer corner right here. Go in where it's not visible, and then I'm going to start creating that crease again and going above where I want it to be visible. And I'm going to stay kind of in that C shape, but I'm not going to bring it in as far. I'm going to keep it on the very outer portion of my eye. And when I'm applying colors, I personally like this tapping and packing motion because I think that it kind of prevents splotchiness in a way. Now we're slowly bringing this up until it's where we want it to be seen. Again, this is kind of, you gotta kind of decide where you want your eyeshadow to go. I'm putting mine more in a downward direction because I'm doing puppy liner. You can go downwards, you can keep it kind of more contained and it like right at the corner of your eye and keep it like this. Or if you want it elongated, you can bring it up this way. Now I packed that color on. I'm gonna go back to my fluffy brush, clean it off with my shadow swap pan. You don't want any pigment on the fluffy brush when you're blending. Again, just taking it from the front and flicking it out. I'm not doing windshield wiper motions. Just kind of doing tiny circles. It looks kind of crazy, I know, but I am putting eyeliner on, so. And I am by no means a eyeshadow enthusiast. I'm not an eyeshadow expert. I kind of actually hate doing eyeshadow most of the time, but this is what I found that works for me. So now what we're gonna do is, if you don't like glitter, that's okay. Just choose like the lightest color and use that on your inner corner. In this scenario, if you're using neutrals, it could be like really light beige or something like that. But I like glitter and I like shimmer, so I am gonna go in with the NYX glitter glue just on my finger. I'm only gonna do about this much. I'm just gonna get an even coating on my finger. And same thing, what you need to do is kind of put this everywhere, but same thing with the glitter is you need to go above where your crease is in order for it to blend on where you kind of made your other crease. If you catch my drift, you just have to go above where that hood is. And I'm gonna blend it to like almost the middle of my lid, and then slowly start taking that up. Now I'm gonna use the same finger and go into a shimmer. Now with the shimmer on my finger, going in for the lid first. I'm gonna slowly start bringing it up. Don't just like plaster your finger all the way up here. Slowly start bringing it up and figure out where you want it to sit. Now with the glitter on, I don't like just throwing glitter on there and just calling it a day. Most of the time I like it to be more blended. I've cleaned my fluffy brush once again. I'm gonna hold it super close down to the bottom where the bristles are to get that most pressure. And I'm just gonna place my brush like this and flick out just to blend that edge. You don't want to touch the darker part right here because you don't want to accidentally bring that darker pigment into your shimmer up here. So try to stay just where the shimmer is. Now that we blended that upper part right here, I'm just going to kind of go back and forth on this line where the shimmer stops and the darker pigment starts. I just want to blend it a little bit more, so I'm going to just go from the shimmer into the dark like this. I am going to take it a step further because I like having a very, very bright inner corner. I'm going to take the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil and go just on my inner corner right here, like my little tear duct, and just dot it a little bit like this. And you can leave it like this if you want. I'm going to blend mine out a little bit. Now you can use your finger to do this or whatever you want to do. I'm using the e.l.f. small smudge brush and I'm just going to blend out the edges of this eyeliner. And then on top of that, I'm going to use a highlighter. This is my favorite highlighter ever. It's the ColourPop Pressed Highlighter in shade Cold One. And on that same tiny brush, I'm going to pop that into my inner corner and kind of blend that into the shimmer as well. And I also like to bring it down right here. I just feel like it, like comparatively, like I know my eyeliner is not done, but I just really like the way that it looks. Now, I will not be doing eyeliner in this tutorial. If you would like to see how I do my eyeliner in this look, I'll link it somewhere over here. But I have tons of eyeliner tutorials, but this one in particular, I do have here on YouTube. It's the puppy eyeliner tutorial. I'm gonna go do my eyeliner and I'll be right back. If you made it to the end of this video, congratulations, you are my favorite. Now, if you found me on YouTube, I do shorter form tutorials over on TikTok and Instagram, so make sure to give me a follow over there. And if this video helped you at all and you enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a like and even hit subscribe. That would mean the absolute world to me. I think I've covered most of the basics throughout my videos. I've done my base, I've done lashes, and now I've done eyeshadow. So I'm kind of going off of the requests that you guys give me at this point and things that you want to see. I saw someone requesting that they wanted to see how to do like a halo eye on hooded eyes, so that might be in the next video because I think that that's worth covering too. But if anything comes to mind that you want to see specifically, leave me a comment down below and I'll just add it to the list of things that I'll get to eventually. But thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.